Hello, welcome to this section of my class. Today I'm teaching you guys how to make headband wig using your zigzag sewing machine. This is really easy as long as you know how to use a sewing machine, which I will teach you in another video. You must have watched that already, and if you have, we can get started. So this is the hair I'm using. It's Darling Empress. Um, I think silky straight. So the first thing I did was I went ahead and I started drawing the patterns on my cap. I have a video where I slowed this down and I explained how I drew the pattern. You should go watch that video and see how I drew the patterns. So I drew the patterns from the back all the way to the front, and in the front you can see that I tried to make it as close as possible to each other to make the front fuller and so that the cap is not visible in the front. Now that I'm done with the patterns, I want to start sewing, and I picked the shortest of the three because I want the hair equal when I'm done. So this is the shortest of the three, and I'll start sewing from the back. The only thing I need to do is just follow my lines. If you follow your lines, you don't have any issue. So make sure you follow your patterns and just sew. And remember, we're using the zigzag stitch pattern for our sewing. It makes it really firm and really neat. Okay, so this is the first one I'm sewing. You can see I just follow the pattern, and that's how I'll just continue sewing that. Okay, this stuff is really easy if you just draw your patterns, follow your patterns. It's fast. You can make your wig in less than 20 minutes or so if you just follow the patterns and just do what you're supposed to do. Okay, so sometimes you might be using some weave on that the weft is so thick. You can apply your candle to it to make it run smoothly on the weft. I had this problem at the beginning. I had to figure it out. So with the candle, it makes it flow. So that's why I use the candle when I'm even drawing the patterns, because it makes my sewing works well. Like the sewing just rides really well on top of the weft, because the wax is made of oil, so it makes everything just go smoothly. So it's like oiling the cap so that the needle can work with it. So actually my sister is the one sewing this because I had to film this, so I'm like just directing her on how to go about it, so that I can film this really well for you guys to see properly. So we'll just continue sewing this, and then I'll show you what I'll do next. Just keep watching. Now we're approaching the front of the cap, and this is where it's going to get a bit tough because it's going to be like really bulky at that point, so you want to take your time and actually just sew this as careful as you can. I would advise that as you sew, when you get to the end, you cut and move it to the front, but you can also turn, but I would advise that you cut for now. It's better you turn when you are used to it and understand how to work with the weft and the hair and everything. So as I'm sewing this, I'm realizing that I have more hair that I still have to add to this, and the lines are it's beginning to get to an end. So I'm adding more lines using my candle, okay, so that I can have all the hair in the cap. So it depends on how full you want the hair to be. If you don't want it really really full, you can just leave it the way it is, and just leave it the way it is. But if you want the front really full, you want the whole hair in the cap, you can go ahead to add more lines before you get to the end. And even when you are done, you can add more lines and sew in your cap in between. So you can see that I've sewn to the end, and I'm leaving the band in front. You don't want to touch that band at all in front. So I still have more hair. So what I'll do is that I'll wear my wig on my mannequin, open it up, and use my candle to draw more lines inside where I can put those hair in. Okay, so you can actually do that, or you can just leave it the way it is. But that is what I did. I drew lines inside, and now we are going to sew the hair inside this line so that we can exhaust the whole hair in this wig cap, in this wig rather. So now I want to add my elastic band, and I'm adding candle to where the last weft is. This is because when you're adding your elastic band, I'm going to place it on top of the weft or on top of the hair, and it will become so thick that sometimes the machine might not be able to run across it. So you add your candle to it. You also add your candle to your band to make the sewing easy for you. You can see how I'm placing the band on top of the hair. Just follow the way I'm placing it, exactly like this. Okay, just like this. You see that I left the band in front, I moved it at the back. Just do it exactly like this, and we are going to run the stitch. Okay, the stitch is just going to go from the beginning of your ear, first ear, to the other side of your ear. Now you're not running it all the way to the back or the back of your ears. Okay, so I added my candle. You can see that there's candle wax on the band to make the sewing seamless, to make it easy. If not, your needle is going to be getting stuck, your thread will be cutting, because this machine cannot climb such thick materials. So you have to add this to make it oily and to make it easy for you to sew on. Okay, so you're sewing from one ear to the other ear. You're not sewing all the way around. Okay, if you notice, that's what I did. I only sew from one ear to the other ear. If you look at it now, so the other part is just going to be hanging, and you're going to hook it using your plaster or whatever it is called. I don't really know the name for that. So now I'm adding my comb, and I'm adding one comb at the back and two in front. You can attach the comb using your thread and needle via your hand stitches, or you can use your machine to sew it. So this is how the wig look like when I added my scarf and everything. It's simple, it's nice. You can even style it better than this. So I want to see what you guys have made. Thank you so much for watching this video. Bye bye.